Hi everyone. Today I thought of talking about a slightly uncommon topic. It is about people who are three times divorced. Most probably, this is more relatable with women, but this can be same for both men and women. So, the world is very judgy and judges everyone, no matter what. But it is this kind of people who get targeted more than anyone else, and people judge them based on their choices. People think that they are not reliable because they've had three divorces, and the world looks at them like weird. Who has three divorces? It must be something wrong with them. So, let's talk about a few things. This video might be helping people who are themselves three times divorced, or people who are in a relationship with somebody who is three times divorced. You will be able to understand those people better. So here it goes. Generally, people who get three times divorced have their first marriage at a very young age. Okay, it is in most cases a marriage which is not well thought out. Like people might get pregnant before marriage and just marry the person just because they got pregnant. So it could be that, or people who get married at a very early age could be due to arranged marriage. Their families wanted them to get married and they were not happy with the person. Their compatibilities did not match. They did not want to get married to that person, but they had to. So a situation like that could be the case as well. So in all these factors, when they are too young to make a informed decision, or they are forced into a marriage, it's these kind of marriages which affect their first failed relationship. So this is the first divorce that they generally have. That's how it starts. Not that they didn't try to work it out, they might have, but it generally takes a long time for these people to be in this relationship where they realize that it's not working for them. And they have perhaps by then reached that stage in life when they have become more matured and they have understood their self-worth, and they have understood that the relationship they're in is getting toxic and that environment is not going to be healthy for the long run. And they have a strong belief that if they come out of that marriage, they will be happier. So, this is why I said that these people, on a majority basis, are quite young, because they always have this tendency to believe that life is long and they will have a lot of other chances. So that's when they decide to have their first divorce. After that, they might be leading a normal life until they find the second chance to get married. Now, in most of these cases, this could be someone they find at work. This also could be another arranged marriage if the first one was not an arranged. Generally, it is something which never happened the first time. So, if the first time the person had married in an arranged marriage, the second one they preferred to do a love marriage. Or if the first marriage was a love marriage, the second one they want it to be an arranged marriage. Or whatever it could be. But the second time they marry, they have put in a lot of thought into this. They just don't enter into this decision at a haste. Okay, they will take a lot of time to make up their mind before doing this. And mind you, this is the time they put in the most hard work they can in trying to save the marriage. Any person who has gotten divorced finds it the most difficult to have had the second divorce. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, in the three divorces that they have had, the second one was most definitely the hardest, because they never intended to have the second divorce. They had, when they got married the second time, absolutely erased it out of their mind any possibility to have a second divorce. They had tried their level best to work this marriage out, and at the end of it, when nothing seemed to work, only then, with all doors closed, that's when they had to take a divorce. So it's more like they had no other choice, they had to take the divorce rather than they wanted it. Okay, after this stage arrives, these people generally have no interest in marriage after that. They focus on their own well-being, they focus on their careers, they focus on everything that is self-oriented, and they erase the complete thought of ever getting married. So they've sworn to themselves that, oh, I'm not going to ever do this again, this is done, I'm done with marriage. And it's at most cases, it's when they are on a vacation or when they are least expecting it, they almost like stumble upon a person who just sweeps them off their feet. Okay, so in 99% of cases, a third marriage is never an arranged marriage. Okay, I mean, there can be exceptions, but families never really make this kind of an approach to get a person settled down for the third time. So it's in 90% cases, the person who gets married the third time chooses the partner themselves. Okay, and like I said, it happens at the most unusual of times that they have never really expected things like this to happen. So it's the times when they go for a retreat, for a vacation, maybe they're out with their friends, and suddenly they stumble upon a person who just happens to mesmerize them. Okay, and most definitely these are relationships that start off as a fling. Okay, the person who has already been divorced twice has no intention of getting married to this person at the very beginning. They are taking it as a casual relationship, they are taking it as a fling, and it's at, I don't know, I mean, 100% chance that it is the other person who proposes and not this person who has already been divorced. Okay, so it's the other person who would propose, and there are chances that the first or second time he proposes, the woman rejects it and does not fall for this proposal of getting married because they're still haunted by their past experiences, and they still believe that no, marriage is not meant for them. But it is this persistency of this other person which makes them change their mind. When they see that this person who has proposed to them is a persistent person, and that's when their opinion of this person changes. That's when their entire opinion about marriage changes. And they start to feel that, okay, maybe the other two times I got jinxed. Maybe the other two times it was just sheer bad luck. This person is nothing like the other two. This person is in fact the person that I've always wanted. This person is probably going to give me everything that I never got from the other two marriages. So it's this vulnerable condition that they enter into, and the person wins because of their persistency. The person who's already been divorced twice is taking this as the main core based on which they want to go ahead in life. They have this feeling that if this person is persistent now, it means this person will never leave me. It means this person will be persistent during the marriage as well. And that's the confidence that leads them to have the third marriage. Now, the problem arrives when, at most cases, they find this person is a man-child. This person is not matured enough, and they have no interest in rearing up a man-child. These women who have already tolerated 2 failed marriages have absolutely no thread of patience left in them. So they've given up. They've totally given up. They took a second chance, or rather a third chance in marriage, and thought of doing this again with the expectation that the guy would be matured enough to handle situations. But at most cases, it is seen that these guys, the third guy, generally is a person who is younger to these women and lacks the ability or the maturity that is needed to handle a sensitive person that she has become by now. Okay, so they might be doing things which are not intending to be bad, but she, because she has lost all her patience, is not able to sustain those kind of things. She's not able to handle those kind of things because she thinks it's childish, all those things. She has lost all her patience to go through these things again. The third divorce is by far the easiest to do. Okay, easiest, I mean mentally. Okay, easiest not in terms of practically getting it done. Practically getting it done becomes more difficult because then you lose all chances of alimony if you ever intended to have one, because the court would, at the slightest chance, determine you to be the person who lacks all ability to sustain a marriage because of your track record, because of your past. You've already been divorced twice. So the court would most definitely rule out any possibility that you will be able to work it out. You know, they have a biased opinion on you automatically that you're the one who's at fault, and it will be very easy for the guy to prove it to the court that you might have intentions to marry people just for the sake of alimony. Okay, so at most often than not, these cases are based on defamation and all these things, where they try to show you as the person who marries just for the sake of alimony and does not intend to carry on the marriage. So you lose out all opportunities to get any alimony, okay, at most times. So the nitty-gritties of getting that done is difficult, the practical process. But I'm talking about the mental condition. What is the mental condition of the person who is going through the third time divorce? That person is absolutely relaxed about the whole thing, does not care about it, wants it to be done and dusted with, wants to get out of it as soon as possible because they've lost all interest and all patience in carrying it on anymore. Okay, this is the time when things like comparisons start happening. This is the time when they become judgy and they keep on judging this third guy with the same lenses that they had for the other two marriages. They keep thinking and comparing that, oh, you're gonna do the same thing like those people, so I'm not gonna wait till that happens. And as a defense mechanism, it's a fight or flight situation, and I would rather like to just end this once and for all. Okay, so this person who's having the third time divorce finds it the most difficult to get divorced the second time. The first time the divorce happens, they're clueless. It just happens, you know, and they keep pondering for the rest of their lives that what I could have done better, and before they even know it, they are divorced. The second one is the most difficult divorce that they could ever have, and that kind of scars them for the rest of their life. But the moment they reach the third divorce, they are stone-hearted. They don't feel it at all because they've already done it twice, and now it does not make a difference anymore. Okay? So this is general idea of, I may be wrong, okay? There can be exceptions. But most of the cases are like this, okay? So if you're a person who wants to get married to a person who's already divorced twice, or dating a person who is already divorced twice, or if you are a person who herself or himself has had 3 times divorce and you were wondering what is the matter, what went wrong. So I think all these points would help you come to a certain conclusion. I guess this helps.